The Nintendo Entertainment System was one of the best things that ever happened to me as a kid. So many great games, so many great memories. Not only did the NES bring families together, it also forged friendships and gave new meaning to the word fun. Today I present you with some of the games that helped shape my childhood.
Now you're playing with Tower.
You know, when I was growing up, I never heard a negative thing about this game. Not one kid in my neighborhood or school ever spoke an ill word about it. Then again, they may have been too busy playing something else. It wasn't until many moons down the road that I noticed people gave it a bad rep. Was it really that hard of a game? When I was a kid, I don't think I ever paid attention, honestly. I was too busy just being a kid and sticking whatever game I had into the Nintendo and having fun. My sister and I used to play it all the time. Can't tell you how far we had gotten, but we sure did make an effort to give it our best. We had fun trying. It's your typical beat-em-up with a twist. There's some shooter action thrown in that you can do with or without a light gun, and some driving action reminiscent of Spy Hunter. The beat-em-up style gameplay will have you taking cheap shots aplenty, dodging aerial attacks from birds and running from gators. The usual stuff people do in Louisiana. Not only that, but you have access to guns, sticks, knives, and whips too. You can even sport a bulletproof vest. And don't forget, you get to serve up all this butt whooping while jamming out to an insane soundtrack as well. Now about that difficulty. In Japan, they must be the kind of people who eat tanks for breakfast, because this game is far from easy. Not entirely sure why Konami didn't lower the difficulty here. I suppose if you're one of 2.5 people who actually finished this game, the satisfaction you receive from completing it must be right up there as if you beat Mike Tyson. I'm not one of those people. Mike Tyson would wreck me, even if I pretend. Konami obviously didn't take notes when Nintendo ported over Doki Doki Panic and presented it as Super Mario Bros. 2 because they felt that the real Super Mario Bros. 2 was too difficult. One minute I'm thinking Japan really cares about my well-being and sanity. The next I'm wondering why I'm in a relationship with someone who cheats on me. Still, there is some fun to be had here. With a little practice, I believe it's worth playing. Wow, this game was a super fun time for me as a kid. I totally sucked at it too. But I refused to back down. There was just something about this I really loved. Yeah, I know it's an LGN game and there isn't a whole lot to do here. You skate and surf, that's it. But that 80s California vibe was ever present here. Not that I ever lived in California during the 80s, but that vibe was in just about every part of our culture. From television shows to clothing, it was everywhere, and this definitely had that vibe. Maybe that's why I found it to be so fun. Could have been the music, who knows? Whatever it was that drew me to this game, I couldn't tell you. I just liked it back then, and I still don't mind firing it up sometimes. I was about 15 or 16 when I got Metroid. I paid $60 for it with my own earned money, and that feeling of gratification made me a very happy camper back in the day. This game mesmerized me as a kid. I was enthralled with the exploration factor, finding secrets, and that overall ominous feeling the music and environment gave off as you ventured deeper and deeper. It all started the very second the game booted up, too. That title screen music speaks volumes of awesome. There wasn't anything like Metroid, and I really loved getting lost in its atmosphere. Memorization was the key to this game. It wasn't Mario. You just didn't pick it up and finish a world in 2 minutes or less. Getting lost was a very intentional element Nintendo wanted to happen. They understood the fun in discovery. This type of experience can cement a consumer's faith in a company. If a game is good, it has replay value. In the case of Metroid, that replay value lies within finding all of its secrets, alongside an amazing soundtrack. It draws people in. Metroid has the exploration that RPG players love, mixed with the firepower of an action game. The music complemented every environment beautifully, and set the mood for all that would unfold. You could gain the ability to morph into a bomb-dropping ball, which was the coolest thing since boxed oxygen. Even better, you could learn to bomb jump, which helped in further exploration, something unseen in any game prior. Thankfully, the Metroid series has lasted to this day, and keeps getting better. It's always nice to take a look back to see where it all started, right here on the good old NES. I love shooters. Always have, always will. There's just something neat about going as far as you can, getting the best and coolest weapons and tearing through bosses. The accomplishment of making it to the next level just feels good, especially when nearing the end of the ride. Life Force, a spin-off of Gradius, is one of my first shooter experiences. It has a cool weapon system that lets you choose how you want to power up your ship, 6 stages complete with boss battles, and the difficulty is pretty easy going. At least it was for me anyway. I think the key is holding on to those power-ups like with any shooter. Not only are there horizontal stages, but vertical ones as well. And the music is pretty nice too. Definitely worthy of being in someone's collection. Tetris is one of my all-time favorites. Of all the versions you can choose from, I think this one is the best, in my humble opinion. The Game Boy version is a close second. This is one of those games that when you start playing it, you don't want to put it down. For me, it was never about the score, but how far I could make it, and I absolutely loved it when in high speed. It was such a fun time. My neighbor at the time would play this game with her kids and actually keep high score. Wasn't it great when families actually played games together? I never knew of another that kept high score. Looking back, it's kinda cool. This is Random Battle signing off, and until next time, stay random and battle on.